Come on, man, come on.
Yeah, he looks pretty crappy. Come on, man.
Oh God, he looks like a dead fish.
Welcome to Something Crunchy. Tyler is homies with Blake. Blake is the older bro of Blair. Blair is married to Tyler, and is a slutty slut.
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
What the hell is crunchy?
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
Welcome to another special edition episode of Something Crunchy. I'm Kellen Blake. With me, as always, Blair and Tyler Jessel. We're officially coming back from break next week, but wanted to drop a little something special for the 4th, and we have just the perfect guest on the line to help us do that. You may know him from shows like Boy Meets World, Saved by the Bell, and Sliders, and you definitely know him as Yeah from the Sandlot. Please welcome Marty York.
What's up, everybody? That's a heck of an introduction right there.
Thank you for joining us, Marty. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's so good to have you on, man. And you look good. I know you guys can't see Marty, but he's all muscles. He could play the beast.
Yeah. That's actually what I'm playing in the TV show, the Sandlot show.
Yeah.
I like how everyone thought you looked like Pauly D until they sat you right next to him on the Eric Andre show, and you looked like Pauly D and a half, maybe Pauly double D.
Pauly double D. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell him that next
More
time.
accurate.
Please do. Yeah, he's got work to do.
Yeah, that was a fun show. That was definitely a fun, interesting show, the Eric Andre show.
Yeah, that seemed like a fun experience. And we definitely appreciate you joining us for 4th of July weekend. And we have brought up The Sandlot once or twice around here. It's one of the top 10 baseball movies ever made. It's one of the top 10 kids movies ever made. And we firmly believe it's the number one 4th of July movie ever made.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, unquestionably the best scene and best song. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's one of the most American scenes in movie history.
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah, so good.
And next year is the Sandlot's 30th year anniversary. These get bigger every time. Have you guys already been approached with plans for the 30th?
For this one, just a lot of different private stuff. The one we did for the 25th was actually put on by Fox Home Entertainment. And that was when we did almost every MLB stadium in the United States.
Right.
So I've actually been to most of the stadiums now in the United States.
That's crazy. And these baseball players have a crazy reaction to you guys because they're now the age where like you inspired them to start playing baseball. I've heard some of those stories. That's got to be pretty wild.
Yeah, man. It's like when we get to meet these guys, they're like a kid in a candy store, which is crazy because we're a kid in a candy store too when we get to meet these guys. And, we met. I think the coolest things were like at Dodger Stadium, back where the ending of Sandlot where it ended, and I was standing next to Matt Kemp, and he goes, "Man, you guys are the reason I play baseball." And me and the guy was like, "Wow," and it's crazy. Like when you see all these videos of like how many people this has inspired, like, just fans and like people like, Kobe Bryant. He said in numerous interviews how he talks about how Sandlot inspired his podcast called The Punies. It was just inspired by the Sandlot.
Wow.
Yeah, if you look up his interview with Kelly Clarkson, he's talking about Sandlot like nonstop, and he gets excited when he talks about it because I think he grew up on it himself. So
wow,
Like, what a cool feeling.
yeah, it's cool.
Everyone loves the Sandlot. I mean, come on.
Well, I mentioned this to Blair and Tyler a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure most of our audience would have a similar response. I said, what if they had the boys from the Sandlot play the women from A League of Their Own? They peppered in some Hall of Famers, and they played it at the Field of Dreams. And they thought that was the coolest fucking idea ever. And I said, what if it already happened and they did it like a few years ago?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, that was awesome. That was definitely memorable. I think that's the first time me and the guys played baseball in like 20 years or something.
Yeah.
Was it so fun?
Oh, we did play baseball on the Today Show, but it wasn't really a game. Like we just threw the ball around, but
right.
That was like an actual like
that was a game.
Yeah, that was like 7 or 8 innings. It wasn't a full 9 or. Wow. I don't think we played 9.
Well, I got to say, one, that sounds like an unforgettable experience. And two, who the hell was in charge of marketing this thing? I mean, we would have paid top dollar pay-per-view prices if we even knew this was happening.
Like, needed to have
Yeah,
seen
I mean,
this immediately.
that would have been an awesome, like, Hulu or Netflix event, maybe a limited series leading up to the game on the two most iconic baseball movies of the 90s.
I love that, Blake.
Man.
Yeah, we still got it. I mean, we're still pretty good at baseball, which I was surprised about.
So you played in the game, lost to Lori Petty and company, and the most memorable part about the whole thing was Wade Boggs.
Yeah, Wade Boggs was awesome, man.
I'm dying to hear about this. I've always been curious if that story in Always Sunny about Wade Boggs was true. And not only can you say it was true, but he did it in front of you even.
Yeah. Wade can put him down, man.
That is nuts. How many beers?
Oh God, he drank probably like, I would say 75 on our way.
Like he
I
drank.
mean, this guy's cooler was the biggest cooler I've ever seen in my life in this RV that we were in. So like after the game, we all went in Wade's RV and we were driving back in his RV, and me and the guys were sitting around and just telling us stories of like Studio 54 back in the day and like these secret stories that nobody else has heard. You know, when he would go in and they would try to give him heroin and he'd be like, no, I drink Coors Light or whatever he drinks. And he, that dude, I've never seen somebody drink 75 beers in one sitting. It was crazy.
That is absolutely insane. 75 beers.
Amazing.
They should name a ballpark after this guy.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
this is a beer garden.
then he did a karaoke with Chauncey Leopardi, who plays Squints. They were both karaokeing "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion.
Oh, great song choice.
So imagine like Wade Boggs and Squints doing this. It was hilarious.
I can imagine Chauncey doing that. I cannot imagine Wade Boggs doing that. Maybe after 75 beers.
Yeah. It was better with 75 beers.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's incredible. All right, so while on the subject of A League of Their Own, we debate the ending to this thing all the time. And these two pair of dumb shits think one way. I totally disagree. You've been around a lot of baseball and a lot of filmmaking, Marty. You think Dottie dropped the ball at the end on purpose?
I got to be 100% honest. I don't even remember the end of A League of Our Own.
Oh, Marty, foul ball.
God. Well, thank God. 'Cause-
All right, some of them are going home.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, now we have to explain it.
Yeah, now we have to explain it. And remember at the final game, she's playing her sister who got traded, and she comes around, hits the inside the park home run, and knocks her over at home plate. And even though this has happened multiple times in the movie and she didn't drop the ball, in this particular time, the ball falls out of her hand and the wrong team wins. It's very debatable. Everyone
Or
has
is
a
it?
different take. I wanted to see what you had to say on the subject.
I'm going to follow whatever you say on that because I don't. I haven't seen A League of Our Own.
That's the right answer.
It is the right answer.
That's the right. No,
I mean, it really is.
he's going with what I'm going to say on that. You heard it for yourself.
It's a tough one to say too, so it's really like the best thing you can
Well, also,
say.
I'll show my work. Like these two believe that she dropped the ball on purpose because she did it for her sister, and I call bullshit. It's disrespectful to the game of baseball to think otherwise. You think George Herman Ruth or Benjamin Franklin Rodriguez would drop the ball on purpose? Remember, kid, heroes get remembered, but legends drop the ball. No way. Give him a tug, please. I don't think so.
She loves her sister. She wanted her to have a
That
victory.
tagline
That's all
achieved
it
the whole
is.
movie.
Yeah, see, so you heard it. Marty agreed with me. He went in blind,
He
agreed
Still a
said the
tie.
right answer though.
Still a tie. 2-2.
Yeah.
to continue our debate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure everyone expects you to have been playing baseball since you were 5 for making starting shortstop for such a prestigious baseball club at an early age. But it was theater that you've been in since you were 5. Let's talk pre-lot. Were you the cute kid and your mom threw you up there, or was this out of your own interest?
No, like my story is like I started out, I lived in Northern California and I did a lot of theater. My mom really got me good with like reading and stuff because she used to have flashcards. And when I was probably like 2 or 3 years old, and she would like flash, it would be like cat, tree, you know, like she would use these flashcards when I was a little kid. And I got really good at reading. And I was able to memorize lines fairly easy. So I like the first theater production I did was like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs or something. And I played Grumpy or something when I was a kid. And then I did like a bunch of theater from 5 to 10 years old. And then my parents split and my mom moved me out to LA, and my aunt ran a extras casting company. So like those people in the background of films and stuff, she ran like the biggest extras casting company in the United States. And she goes, "Hey, I can get you guys a job in a John Candy film." called Delirious. And so my mom was like, yeah. So me and my mom were in the movie together, and we're both extras in the background. And
Oh my god. Fun.
they said cut, and I started doing John Candy's lines to my mom. And I felt this big hand on my shoulder, and I looked over, and John Candy's standing over me, and he goes, "That was pretty good, kid."
What?
Signed his autograph for me on a piece of toilet paper, and I still have it to this day. And
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh.
so yeah, that was my first experience in Hollywood. Actually in a film. And then after that, my mom was like, "Oh, well, let's get you an agent." Because after that, I knew I wanted to do acting. I was like excited about it, and I'd done it since I was 5. And and the first thing I auditioned for an agent. My aunt put me towards an agent, and she's like, "Oh, well, we have an audition for you today for a Colgate toothpaste commercial." So I went to audition for the Colgate commercial, and I had to dance with a little girl or something, and it was a lot different than theater because there was like all these like producers and directors, and they had like cameras and lights everywhere, and I hid behind the chair. I was so scared. And they coaxed me out. They're like, "Oh, come on." So I came out and I danced with this little girl, and I ended up getting the role. That was the first thing I ever auditioned for in an actual role. And then they called me back to play a little Italian kid in a ragu spaghetti sauce commercial playing bocce ball. And so I did that. And then after that, we were like, "Oh, this is easy." And then I didn't get anything for like a year after that. And, me and my mom were living like hand to mouth, and, I was going to Catholic school, and just a bunch of crazy stuff happened there. And then Sandlot came around, and I auditioned for Bertram originally. I got a call back for Bertram, and then they're like, "Well, we want to take all you guys to a field, and we want to see how you guys, react to each other, when you play ball and hang out and stuff like that." So me and all the guys went to this baseball field here in LA, and we had a coach, and he was teaching us. Actually, our coach was the guy that played Squints Palladorus's, I think it was his grandpa. The guy that says forever.
Really?
Yeah.
That was our coach. So
Wow, that's a
cool.
fun fact.
yeah. So me and the guys, were playing baseball, and they kind of lined us up and said, "Oh, you don't really fit Bertram." So me and my mom were like, "Oh, that's it. We're, that's the end of this. This could have, we had no idea how big Sandlot was eventually going to get. At the time, we were just like, "Oh, well, it's like a baseball film, whatever, it's like, it isn't going to go anywhere." And they called me back and said, "Oh, we'd like him to audition for Yeah Yeah," which is like a bigger role in the film. And because we need a kid that's very hyper, and he's like, "Your son is very hyper." And so I remember before the audition, my mom gave me a giant Hershey's Kiss bar. And she's like, "Eat that whole thing."
Pumped you full of sugar before sending you in.
Yeah.
It
So I ate
worked.
the Hershey's Kiss bar, and I was just like,
part.
yeah. And the rest is history. I went in there, and
Such a great role, too.
Yeah, and you have really had some opportunity to meet some legendary actors in their prime, no less. Like, which was a bigger deal, meeting John Candy or James Earl Jones?
Ooh.
James Earl Jones for sure.
Really?
That would be so amazing.
He's the best.
I mean, you think like that's Darth Vader,
To hear that.
Mufasa,
Coming to America?
Coming to America, Field of Dreams. I mean, that dude's been in like some of the best movies ever made. The best movies ever made.
That's true.
To hear that voice in person would be like incredible.
Especially.
Well, you've heard the story of like when I first met him, right?
What happened?
Oh yeah, so he was we were playing on the field, and my mom goes, "Hey, Darth Vader's here," and I go, "What?" She goes, "Darth Vader's here," and I go, "Yeah, right, Mom." And she's like, "Yeah, let me show you." And she takes me into this back room, and I see James Earl Jones, and he goes, "Hello, young man." In the
Oh
room.
my gosh.
I go, "Are you Darth Vader?" And he goes, "I am your father."
Oh, wow. He's like doing his
That's
lines.
so cool.
That's the coolest thing ever for a kid.
I go,
Wow.
"Mom, it's him.
Oh my god.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right, so Fox owned the rights to The Sandlot until Disney bought the rights just so they could tease us with this show. Any updates on this thing?
As much as I do at this point. I mean, when Fox has been so great to us over the years, and just been an incredible studio to work with. And Disney bought Fox the end of 2019.
Yeah.
And when we met with producers at the end of 2019, this was before the merger, and they were gung ho. I mean, we had the producer of Prison Break working on our show. he was like the producer of our show. And
Wow.
he's like, man, you know how hard it is to do, I don't know how many seasons they shot, like 4 or 5 of Prison Break. And he's like, you know how hard it is to do a show for one guy breaking out of prison? Like,
5 seasons.
like, I mean, 4 or 5 seasons of that, like, 4 years of trying to create a storyline. He's like, with you guys, I've got like a storyline for each episode,
So
we
much.
introduced Squints in this episode, and in this one, Bertram in that one. And they just told us the premise of the show was so good. I can't really divulge what the premise is, but in case the show does still happen. But
Right.
it was just an amazing premise for the show. And then Disney came in and bought Fox the end of 2019, and then COVID hit the next year, and then we haven't. It's kind of been on hold.
Man, I mean, I would expect this to do well, like a
It's
Cobra
gotta
Kai. I
Yeah.
mean, reboots and revivals
yeah.
are the thing right now.
And
And the
this would be
story-
huge.
The storyline's amazing. And I think whenever you pair the original actors with a new cast, kind of like Cobra Kai, it's a formula and a recipe for an incredible show. I mean, Cobra Kai is an incredible show.
Yeah.
I've watched all the seasons of it and really loved it. And Sandlot has such a huge fan base that I know people would love it. So Disney, you hear that? If you're listening to something, get on it.
Yes, exactly. Like, everyone wants to see this.
Do you watch a lot of shows or movies?
I've gotten into some certain things. Definitely that Cobra Kai show. That's a great thing. The Boys. I love The Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watched all seasons of that. I love how like offbeat it is, and the characters in the show are great.
I always like asking actors, like, if you could walk on and join the cast of any show, what would it be?
I mean, at this point, it'd be The Boys. I love that show. I'd love to. I mean, I'd love to play a superhero in anything because I grew up a total comic book nerd.
Okay.
I'd love to be in something like that.
The Boys has such a cool approach. So good. It's got a big
Oh, yeah.
following already.
And the vulgarity of it is just like it's great. I love it. It's
Yes.
just like shit that blows your mind. You're just like, what did I just see?
Yeah.
Who was your favorite superhero growing up?
Oh God, Wolverine for sure. I would love to. Actually, I dressed up as Wolverine one year, and a lot of people were like, "Damn, you look just like him." And I would love to play that character. I think
They're looking for a new Wolverine.
You can have a
yeah,
little Wolverine
they were
thing going
talking about
on.
they're talking about Chris Evans. I go, how many superheroes is he going to play in the Marvel universe? He played
It's
the Human
ridiculous.
Torch. He played like Wolverine was cool because it was like nobody had ever seen Hugh Jackman before, and he just came in and nailed that role. And
true.
by comic book standards, he doesn't really fit the role because he's like I think 6'1" or 6'2", and Wolverine's kind of this short, stocky. I'm more of like a Wolverine type, I would say. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", but I think I fit the role of Wolverine. I could pull it off.
Yes. I feel like you would nail that.
I'm actually seeing that. That would
I
be
know.
pretty
I'm like
awesome.
visualizing yes.
If they can make you
It's on my Instagram, so if
hairy
you scroll
enough.
down, you'll see it.
If you had to choose, what's your all-time favorite movie?
All-time favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh.
How obtuse.
So good.
That movie evokes so many emotions in me. And at the end, when Morgan Freeman says, "Get busy living" or "Get busy dying," and no matter how many times I've seen it, I always shed a tear when I see that.
That hits hard. We have a segment on our show called Synthetic Sequels, where we write some ideas for the remaining 12 movies that don't have sequels. And our sequel idea for Shawshank doesn't suck.
It's so good. I want it so bad.
But check that out.
All right. Well, have you kept up with your Sandlot castmates at all? Like, do you guys talk outside of the events and signings?
Yeah, we talk. We're all on a thread, like a text message thread. And Tom Guy plays Smalls. He's always the one that comes up with the most random, crazy shit that you've ever heard. Like, he'll say some shit on there, and he'll send picture of like a midget wrestler, fucking, like he'll just put the most random shit out there and be like at like 2:00 in the morning, and you're just like, what? We're sleeping, dude. Like, what do you?
Oh, you could sell a Patreon to that thread. That would be hilarious
Just to see the random shit that gets posted.
And I was hoping that you'd say that. You walked into that very nicely. We play a game every episode, and we make a quick game for every guest as well. If you're up for it, we'd like to give you the name of a random project one of your Sandlot castmates went on to star in, and you have to guess who it is.
All right.
All right. Let's start easy. Who is in Freaks and Geeks?
It's not be Chauncey.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
good with the game.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You got sound effects on the show?
Got come with sound effects and everything. All right.
Cool.
1 for 1. No more gimmies. Who is in Brawl in Cell Block 99?
Cell Block 99.
Brawl in Cell Block 99 from 2017.
I'd probably say Tom Gyrie.
2 for 2.
Wow.
Smalls.
He's heating up.
If it's a movie that I haven't heard of, I mean, that dude has done so many movies that I can't even keep up with all the films. That guy has been in so many films.
It's ridiculous.
Really?
You don't think he's been in like that many. He has been in like a ton of shit. He really has, including Brawl in Cell Block 99. It's on from 2017. 2 for 2. I'm impressed. Fear Inc. from 2016.
That'd be Pat Renna.
He's on fire.
Ham Sauce. Wow. He is on fire.
Wow.
Well done. Okay. All right. Let's talk Grindhouse. Both Death Proof and Planet Terror.
That's an easy one. Marley Shelton.
Man.
What?
I was trying to give him a trick question there and keep it outside
No.
the boys. And he.
No.
Oh, all right.
This is what happens when you spend 5 years on the road with these guys.
No, I love this.
This is perfect.
No
All right.
credit.
All right, here's your last one. I'll be really impressed if you can get this. Who is in Mutant Species from 1995?
Ooh, Mutant Species.
Exactly.
You might have stumped me with that one. Mutant Species. I'm gonna say Shayna Blazinski. I don't know.
No, that's incorrect. It was Grant.
You got him.
Bertram was in Mutant
Isn't it a movie
Species.
called
Brand.
Mutant Species?
Mutant Species from 1995. Not Species, the one everyone remembers.
Natasha Henstridge. Not that one.
Mutant
These
Species.
are mutant. They weren't just a
Yes.
regular species. They were mutant species.
That's right. So you got them all except for Mutant Species. Man, I'm so glad.
That was
you-
like a great performance.
No one has come on here and gotten a perfect game. That would have
No.
been like extremely
Marty, wow.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, Mutant Species threw me off. I've never even.
Well, that's a tough one.
Well done. No one remembers Mutant Species. No one's going to give you a hard time for that. I doubt Grant even remembers doing Mutant Species.
He's trying to forget.
We don't remember a lot of this stuff. I mean, I've done some independent films I don't even remember doing.
And by the way, in making this game, we learned that like every one of you was in Boy Meets World.
And I just did the Boy Meets World new podcast, Pod Meets World. I was on there.
Oh, that's
I just heard about that.
Oh.
That is
Yeah,
cool.
that's blowing up. They're like number 3 on the charts or something. But I just did their show 2 days ago, and I'm such good friends with like Will and Ryder still. I love those guys.
Will seems
probably one of the-
hilarious.
Oh, he's so funny. I love Ryder too. He's like one of the nicest casts that I've ever worked with, and Danielle's amazing. Yeah, that was fun. That show was fun. I think I did almost the whole first season. I did 3 episodes of the first season.
Oh, they
3
seem like they'd be
episodes.
such a like great cast.
Tight knit family.
Yeah.
We had a
Really
little
great
debate
guy.
about this the other day. Maybe you could weigh in. Who would win in a brawl between the cast of The Sandlot or the Mighty Ducks? And you get to keep Brandon.
Sandlot and Mighty Ducks in a brawl. Wow.
You get to keep Brandon.
He stays with the Sandlot
Oh, we have
cast.
to keep Brandon. Oh,
You
that's-
get to keep Brandon.
Yeah.
I think that's the right
Yeah,
answer. You got to consider the Bash Brothers.
I mean, I
That's
know
trouble.
I know almost all the Mighty Ducks. I was actually thinking it would be funny. You ever see that show where it was like, I think like Method Man was in it and they rapped?
Yeah, roast battle or whatever that was.
Yeah, that roast battle show.
Yes.
I was like, dude, I even like sent a letter to the producer saying, hey, would you like to have the Sandlot guys versus the Mighty Ducks guys? And I think that'd be cool if they walked out with hockey sticks and we walked out with baseball bats.
Yes.
And then we started like rapping, and like one guy would come up to one guy and then they'd go back in the pack and then the other guys. I think that'd be cool.
These are the things we want to see.
Absolutely here for all of these things.
Because I can spit some flows, all right?
Hot fire.
I actually made a rap album when I did Sandlot when I was 13.
You did
I
not.
made a song about the Sandlot. Yes, I did. I made a rap album about the Sandlot.
I'm going to have to request an MP3 of
You need a
this.
sample of this.
I mean, I could spit it some of the verses to you right now.
Oh, need
Please
it.
do.
Need it.
5,
Space
6,
Force.
7, 8.
All right, so it goes like this. Back in the summer of 62, when the grass was green and the sky was still blue, was a group of boys from the neighborhood, busy doing things that all boys should. Nonstop baseball, who could ask for more? In the year that Maury Wills hit 104, and the record was born, it lives to this day about Benny the Jet. Now that kid can play.
Wow. wrong sound effect. That was awesome.
That was amazing.
One, you still remember that, and two, that was pretty damn good for
Yeah,
a
that's
13-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the background, like the instrumental was horrible to that, but I mean my mom wrote that for me.
Dude, a cappella.
Way to
That
go, Mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fruit Cup.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Fruit Cup.
Whoa.
So
Wasn't expecting
good.
that. Well, let's get into some new stuff. You got a new indie film you're shooting with Tara Reid where you play a boxer. Tell us about Do Justice.
That is supposedly supposed to start shooting the end of this year. I play like a boxer and like a named Maverick, and that's really all I know about it, to be honest.
Wow. Okay.
That's you being a good boxer.
I haven't even. They said they were going to revise the script, so I don't know what's going on with it.
Did you land the role on that story about Chippendales? Blair's been dying to know.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did, which is odd because I thought I was a shoo-in for that.
You know, I would have thought you were a
You're
shoe-in
a
for
shoo-in.
that. Absolutely.
You
But
are.
it's meant to be
But,
because you're meant to play Wolverine. Now that you've said
So
that
true.
and planted that seed,
That'd be like a good one, like a good revamp of Wolverine.
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, I would. That's my dream.
we're just going to try and talk that into
We'll just send all the
existence.
crunchy vibes
We're
out,
behind it.
you know?
Positive.
And the Frenchy
Positive
vibes.
crunchy vibes.
You also have a new supplement line in the works, a little pre-workout called the Beast Juice. Brilliant.
Yes, the beef juice is my pre-workout I'm working on right now, and I'm hoping to release it within the next about 3 months. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't know that you had to get. Like, obviously, you have to get insurance and a lot of stuff that comes with having your own, supplement line. And
Oh, I can't imagine.
but I have a great idea for the commercial for it.
Really? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I made a commercial for it, and I didn't like it. It was too serious. And can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we cutting out?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Somebody was like calling on my phone. So I had a great idea for like what I want to do for the commercial, which was like a bunch of guys sitting in a gym. They had already taken some other pre-workout, and they're all like tired, and they're like, "Man, this pre-workout sucks. I wish there was something better out there." And then I go, I know of a pre-workout that's better. I found it a long time ago. It's over the fence, and there's a giant dog. There's a giant beast, and then they lower me over the fence. Now, like
The same stuff.
being all big. Yeah. And I come face to face with the beast again, but this time there's the bottle of the beast juice there, and
That's really clever.
It's amazing.
yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I'd buy a case
have
of that
such
shit
great
online
ideas.
immediately.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits of Beast Juice and what separates it apart from the other pre-workouts?
So I got some branched chain amino acids in there that a lot of pre-workouts don't have. A lot of pre-workouts just douse their stuff with, caffeine. Mine's going to have caffeine, but I'm going to have some other ingredients in there that are going to, for energy, that are more like natural, kind of like some stuff that's in, the Rock stuff, his stuff that he's putting out. It's healthier for you instead of like, a lot of the pre-workouts on the market have like 300, 400, 500 milligrams of caffeine, like enough to kill like a small elephant. So,
Wow.
you take it and you're just jittery as hell when you work out. So mine, you're going to have long lasting energy and there's not going to be a crash. So that's what I think is going to differentiate mine from a lot of stuff that's out there.
Oh, that's nice.
Dude, that's awesome. And you also have a documentary out on top of it all, Beyond the Roll, on Peacock and NBCLX, where we get a glimpse into some of the hardships that you've been through, and it's a great watch. You have definitely been through a lot, and our family was able to relate on so many levels. It's definitely hard to open up about these things publicly, and definitely recommend everyone check that out.
That documentary was actually, we made that much longer, but they had cut it down for time. I'm actually pitching that to different studios to do like, I'd like to share my whole story because there's so much more to it. I mean, I told you like when I came here and I went to that Catholic school, just some of the things like I experienced and, going to that Catholic school, and I met like these bad kids and my mom left me with them and she went off, and like just a lot of shit happened in my life. And I mean, that documentary was like a brief glimpse into like some of the things that I've been through. But I mean, it's really just the story of the comeback story. I love comeback stories, and my real story is a comeback story. Because I left the business after that car accident, for almost 15 years.
A lot of people don't know you were in a devastating car accident. Engine went through the car, broke your legs. You had to relearn how to walk again. And now here you are looking to make a big comeback. And I think the peak comes with playing Wolverine.
Yep.
And like, you know what's great about playing Wolverine is that that's not one movie. That's like minimum 3 movies.
Minimum.
You get 3 Wolverine movies, plus you get to piggyback in on all the group stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah, you get the Marvel orgy that you get to join. That's like that is work on work.
So good. And we do need to know more, like the full story. And I agree. It's probably hard when you just get like a snippet when you're like, oh, there's just so much more.
Yeah, there's a script that's been written, but it's I'm having it revised now because there's a lot of stuff in there that needs to be just removed and replaced with other things. But yeah, I'm writing the script and I'm shopping it around to some different studios, and I think that my full story is really like an amazing story of just overcoming the odds and coming back and trying to come back bigger and better than before. And the whole working out thing came from so many factors in my life. I mean, I think that goes for anybody that really like works out to change their body and change their life. Where like, you've encountered some kind of hardship, whether you were a kid that was made fun of, for being different, or you were, went through bad things at home, or whatever it may be. Everybody that actually just works out and changes their physique, I think the gym for a lot of people is that release. And for me, it was definitely that release for so many things in my life. And it came after the car accident when I started doing physical therapy and started learning how to lift weights. And because I never did any of that when I was a kid, I hated that. I was always the kid that never ran in gym class. I would always the kid that would hang out with the skateboarders and smoke weed behind the bleachers. And
Yeah, that was us too.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, that was me as a kid. And I still do that. No, I'm just kidding.
I just
Guilty as
also work
charged.
out.
Yeah. Man, he's describing my afternoon.
Yeah. Nice. He's
So I
really
did that
been able to
yesterday.
move on.
I was under the
Smoke a little here
bleachers
and
like
there.
2 hours ago.
Oh yeah, and I totally still smoke. I totally still, I'll promote weed for pain management and
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
well-being of your mind. I love it.
Tyler's here in the industry, and yeah,
It's provided a lifestyle for me and my family that I could just never give them enough credit for.
yeah, our show's
Amazing.
entirely sponsored by those brands as well.
Awesome, man.
You have been just so awesome to have on, Marty. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We really hope we get the opportunity to talk again soon. Hope you have an awesome rest of your 4th of July weekend. Yeah, and you can follow Marty on Instagram at Marty_York. And don't forget to check out his documentary on Peacock and NBC LX. And we'll be just as excited for the news on the show and for some due justice as well.
Yes.
For sure, man. I'll keep everybody updated. We will be at the it's called the National. It'll be a sports show. It'll be the first time that all the guys except for Benny have been together. It's kind of like a reunion with all of us, including Pat Renna, who we don't see at a lot of signings, but it'll be all of us will be there July 29th through the 31st in Atlantic City. It's called the National. It's a big sports show. So if you're interested in coming down and seeing me and the guys, come down to that as well.
So fun.
See you there.
Cool.
I'm gonna
That
get
sounds great, Marty. Well, again, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Awesome talking to you guys.
Thanks, Marty.
Likewise. Hope to talk soon.
Take care.
Take it easy.
All
Bye.
right.
What a cool guy.
He was awesome.
He was so much fun.
How did he not know the ending of A League of Their Own?
He does. He's trying to stay partial.
He was. You think that's what happened? He didn't want
He's
to
a
give his
smart guy.
opinion?
He knows
It's not
to-
allowed. Like he's like hung out with Lori Petty.
He played with, yeah, you think he's going to go there? He's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking
He was
about.
totally playing with Lori Petty.
I will fight you two to the death on this.
He did the smart move.
You know.
He's got a cool story. He started off as like an extra. His aunt was running an
Yeah.
Casting service.
Yeah, his mom married a member of Sha Na Na. Like his stepdad is in Sha Na Na.
That's cool.
Shanana?
I was hoping he would mention that organically. I didn't want to bring it up. So tell us about your mom.
Hey,
She seems
how's your
cool,
mom?
though. Like, she wrote the rap. Like,
No, mom had some
kids are
influence
always
here.
Fun.
You know, I was once in an extra for an indie film myself. I take
Yeah?
tremendous pride in it.
Yeah, you have an interesting story with
yeah.
No speaking lines, but there was both nudity and dancing.
that. Was not surprised at all when I heard this, by the way.
No nudity on my part, if you were wondering.
Helicopter show.
Send nudes.
Yeah, he was awesome. Cool guy, fun to talk to. have a Sandlot guy on for 4th of July.
No, that was so
perfect.
great.
So Sandy?
He definitely agreed. That was like most epic American 4th
Yeah,
of July.
it's
Sandy
Americana.
movie. It really is.
Sandlot, like who hasn't seen the Sandlot? You could quote at least
Who hasn't
like
seen the
35 to
Sandlot
50
20
quotes.
times?
Exact. Oh, plus.
Nostalgic for all.
Please.
Well, this is going to come as a huge shock. New dream car giveaway over at 8080. In addition to the 15% off you get for using code CRUNCHY, they're offering 5 times the entries right now, all for a brand new Lamborghini plus $60,000 in cash. You do not want to miss out. Nor do you want to forget to check out SomethingCrunchy.com, where you'll find every episode, our links for social media, and the Almighty Crunch Store, where you'll find all kinds of crunchy gear showing that you are a proud citizen of Crunch Nation. Then there's the Something Crunchy Facebook group, growing like a fungus and just as nasty. High quality shit posting at low prices. No prices to be exact.
Shit's itchy.
This has been another episode of Something Crunchy. Happy 4th, and as always, don't ever forget to live your crunchiest life.
Be crunchy to one another.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and all that crunchy good shit. Thank you for listening.
Oh, you want that 5 o'clock heat in here? No,
Oh,
no air
never-
on? Bring the sun in?
Never
Good
mind.
call, Blair.
You
Let's
know,
do that.
That's a great idea.
So glad he's not. You know what?
Can we
lighting-
turn on the heater while we're at it?
It's better without it.
You know what? This one's called the heater.
This one's called Wet T-shirt Contest
Yeah.
in the hot box.
Juicy nipples.